Welcome back. Well, the market is very, very strong. I mean, yes, the Nifty is down 120 points, but the reason I say that is the intraday recovery. And of course, on the bank Nifty, that's the one which has really led the market, which was in the green. The mid-cap index is in the green, and the consumption names also doing quite well. The top gainers now are Bajaj Finserv, Tata Consumer, Bharti Airtel, Eicher Motors, Asian Paints, Maruti, SBI, Titan, IndusInd Bank. The key point is all of them are domestic focused stocks. While on the downside, you have all the sort of commodity or export names like Hindalco, ONGC, TCS, Infosys. Tells you about the texture of the market. Mitesh is back with us. Mitesh, the impulse was to buy the dip. You also spoke about it this morning. But what next? On days like today, do you extend your sort of winning positions or book here? And what would be your stock calls?
I mean, that is always the next level question. Once you've bought the dip, the market has gone up, what do you do? So I think on the Nifty, if you bought early in the morning, anything around 17,500, 510 levels, maybe not immediately in the opening around 17,485, but 17,510, 520, 525 levels. I think now trail the stop loss to 17,570 or just maybe 10 points below that. So at least you have a trade which will, eventually be profitable, though you would want to milk more out of it. I think we have a good chance of heading towards 17,800, 880, which is what I spoke in the morning. So in that sense, I think just trail the stop loss to about 17,560, 565 and hope that this recovery continues, which is what I believe that, the odds are more favorable towards that. And maybe if not today, maybe in a day or two, I think, we'll head closer to 17,800, which is where then you would want to take profits. On the stock side, Asian Paints and Ashok Leyland are two stocks which I recommend. Disclaimer, Ashok Leyland, we have some positively biased call spread positions over here. So we have some interest. Here, I believe a stop loss of 154.5 would work well, and the stock can possibly head towards 171, 172 to begin with. Eventually, I'm even looking at higher levels. And Asian Paints also very strong recovery on the short-term charts. That's a buy with a stop at about 33.90 for targets of around 35.50.
All right. Since you spoke about Ashok Leyland, I just want to mention that most auto stocks are sitting at fresh 52-week highs today. So Ashok Leyland, Maruti, Bajaj Auto, TVS Motor, Escorts Kubota are all sitting at fresh highs. It's been a dream run for the auto sector in 2022. So let's talk a little bit about these stocks, right? Why is Ashok Leyland rallying so much today? Because the company bagged a mega order in the bus segment from UAE. This order is for 1,400 school buses and the order value is $75 million. So it's Ashok Leyland's largest ever order in UAE. And Leyland will also start testing demand for electric buses and medium and heavy commercial vehicles in UAE. So the company says that bus demand has picked up in a big way post the reopening of schools and offices, and they're here to capitalize on that. Let's not forget, Ashok Leyland is the market leader in the MHCV bus segment in India, and it's the fourth largest bus manufacturer in the world in terms of volume. So that's on Ashok Leyland. The other stock I'm looking at this morning is Escorts. Now, Escorts Kubota has hit a fresh 52-week high today. The August sales are looking quite good, actually. It's a 7.3% year-on-year growth that Escorts has reported at 6,111 units. Good growth in the domestic segment. It's an 8% growth year-on-year. Export sales are up almost about 4%. The important bit is that the management commentary is positive. They say that the company has in fact guided for a better September. They say that we should see a better September and most likely a stretched peak selling season of 3 months. The overall macroeconomic factors and the farmer sentiment remains positive. So not only have they done pretty well in August, but they're guiding for a better September as well.
Okay, so that's on Escorts Kubota. Remember, it had a bit of a dip once that open offer was over, but since then has made a big comeback. Back above, by the way, now that open offer price on the stock. Let's see what Biocon is doing, because that's where we had a bit of a negative news. The stock's still down about 2% or so. Rima is going to revisit the news on Biocon. Rima?
Thanks so much for that. So, well, the stock is under pressure because US FDA has issued 11 observations each for its 2 sites in Bengaluru and 6 observations for its site in Malaysia. The US FDA inspections took place in the month of August between 11th to the 30th. Now, we had a chat with the management earlier today, and they said that there were no systemic, no compliance issues which were cited post the US FDA inspection. There were no data integrity breaches as well, which were observed by the US FDA. The inspection was down for 3 different products also. So that was the reason why the US FDA came to the sites in the first place. The company will respond to the US FDA within the next 15 days. And as of now, they do not expect any impact on the company's product pipeline in terms of the approvals as well. So the company said no changes in the approval timeline in our chat with them earlier. Back to you.
Okay, Rima, thanks a lot for that update. Well, that's curtains down on Bazaar for now. But, but I tell you what, the mid-cap index is now up 66 points, and the advanced decline, just leave you that 2:1 in terms of advanced decline that we have now. When we started the day, it was at 1:3 in favor of the declines. We're ending the show with 2:1 in favor of advance.
And it's I mean, across the board, right, Anu? Just look at it. Banks are hitting fresh highs. Bank of Baroda is at a fresh 52-week high. The entire travel space has picked up in a big way. Indian hotels is at a fresh high. And now you have more auto stocks getting added to the list. But the key theme here is domestic. Domestic consumption, domestic autos, domestic hotel companies, all looking good. I guess it's better to look inwards when westwards there's a lot of pressure.
The market's given you a theme, Sonia, for last many days now. Especially on days like today, you have to go all in on the domestic stocks. Avoid export-oriented stocks for some time. Focus on the domestic stocks. That's where the traction is, and that's what you are seeing. Consumption, autos, and all these banks, those finance-led consumption doing well. We'll take a break. Up next, our special segment, Indianomics, is here. Lata will be connecting with Abhishek Upadhyay of ICICI Securities Primary Dealership, Pranab Sen, former Chief